Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago and beyond. This is Cognitive Dissonance. Every episode we blast anyone who gets in our way. We bring critical thinking, skepticism, and irreverence to any topic that makes the news, makes it big, or makes us mad. It's skeptical, it's political, and there is no welcome mat. Today is Thursday, May the 22nd. And Cecil, I need $1.8 billion. I feel like I have been persecuted.
Is that all you need? Do you need any more? Can we maybe
And I don't want to be audited.
Some money off of USAID to give to you too?
Yeah, why not, man? Why not? Where, this is a leaner, meaner, more efficient government. Also, please don't audit me.
Yeah, right.
You can't audit me.
It's the entire what you're talking about is this new thing that the Justice Department put out that basically says that there's going to be a fund. Anybody who was damaged, according to, I don't know who's a 5-person panel that Trump personally picks, anybody who was damaged by any kind of lawfare against them, especially regarding the 2020 election, will be able to collect money from the government as a sort of way to repay them for their hardships after they tried to overthrow the United States government. So after they decided to do that, now that we prosecuted them, they can come back to us. And then we, of course, we wound up basically commuting all their sentences and giving them pardons. So they're all done with all the stuff that There's no more punishment going on. They had a very little punishment to begin with. And now they can come back to us like the leader of the Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys, that Enrico guy. He's definitely going to partake. The family of the lady who got shot, Ashley Babbitt, they're going to partake in this. So a bunch of people are going to start taking money out of this fund that we've created that essentially Trump just says, I will pay you money as compensation for starting an insurrection in my name.
And that's terrible. But I'm just saying I'd like to get my piece out of it. You know what I mean? How does cognitive dissonance, how can we claim lawfare somehow? You know what I mean? I want to, here's where I'm at now. I'm a crazy person, right? Because we are living in irrational bonkers times. And there's well, where's my fucking slice of the horror? You know, why isn't there some way for me to grift into this? Can't I get a pair of gold-plated sneakers or a meme coin or an Trump astronaut? Yeah, Trump phone or
Send me a free Trump phone.
Yeah, where's my shit? Right?
Where's your shit?
I just look, here's the thing. Having principles, ooh, that's great. Having ethics, what does that do for me anymore? I mean, that's all good. That's fine. We should have that stuff. I'm just fucking around, guys. But somebody write me a fucking check. There's $1.8 billion. Hook a brother up.
Here's what I hope is going to happen. Here's my hope.
Yeah.
Is that the guy who voted for Trump, who can't buy beef anymore because a chuck roast is $30.
Yeah.
And he can't fill his truck up because his truck takes $7 gas eventually. Right. He's going to look at these people who are collecting money, who did the January 6th stuff, and he's going to get mad about it. That's my only hope.
Man.
That's the only thing I can hope for. I don't think that they will have enough self-reflection to be mad about it. I think that they are more than happy to trigger the libs. So for them, this is a win in some way, even though they are explicitly losing. Here's the thing. If Trump said, I would like to look at, the lowest earning families in the United States, and I'd like to take $5 billion and give them a stimulus check, I'd be like,
sure,
cool. That sounds great. Let's do that. Hey, let's do that. You know what that is? That's a social safety net. You know what that is? That's you been feeding them shit. But even still, at least, that the X number of families is gonna have something out of this.
Right.
This is literally just rewarding the people who tried to overthrow the government in your name. That's all it is.
That's all it is. And it also, and one of the most important pieces of it, it also explicitly says that the IRS is dropping all of its audits of Trump and his family. And there are some reports, and by some reports, I mean the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. So I'm not talking about like random bullshit you read at fucking davesblog.org, that like Trump, this might save Trump and his organization somewhere around $100 million.
Yeah, $100 million. Yeah, I saw that too.
This is all just grift.
That's all it is.
I think all that like $1.8 billion lawfare and like all of that is the distraction that allows a structure to be put into place to protect this motherfucker specifically and personally from being audited. I think that's it. How do I get all this stuff to go away? Well, let's pass some, legislation that says you guys can't audit me. Well, we can't do that. All right, fine. We'll sneak it into this other thing, and then we'll just structurally build it in. And the thing is, it's not even that he's not being audited. He's not allowed. They're not allowed to audit him or his family ever again.
Yeah.
Now and into the future.
One thing I wonder is if you take over the government, if you can't just rip that up, right? If you can't just come in and be like, I'm going to tear this up. Get the fuck out of here. That's not a thing we're doing anymore. So it's only going to protect him for the amount of time for now. But what it does is it makes it so that maybe that stuff isn't discoverable during some sort of impeachment or something, right? So like maybe what he's doing is he's trying to sort of hedge his bets against a possible impeachment in the midterms, where they won't be able to go after him this way because they're not allowed to do it because he's ordered the department to not do it. One of the things in this article I want to read directly from it, because if you don't think this is 100% a grift, this will convince you this is 100% a grift. The fund's timeline is the giveaway of how Mr. Trump plans to use it. The Justice Department said the fund would stop processing claims on December 15th, 2028, weeks before the president is to leave office, ensuring the money is distributed while he still holds power to fire anyone who objects. The window is precisely the window of Mr. Trump's authority. Isn't that amazing that it literally the clock runs out on this money before I leave office? So I realize that the people who vote for him, they're not all that smart, but this is such a giveaway that this is the case. It's such a giveaway that it is an absolute grift on the American people, pulling money out of all of our pockets to give to his insurrectionists.
And they're saying, oh, well, this money is available for anybody that, has been victimized by the Justice Department. They may a Democrat or whatever.
Sure.
That's what they're saying out loud. But that's very obviously not the intent. And the way it's being decided on who gets a money's back is it's like if I'm doing the fucking ice skating and every judge is the East German judge, I don't think the scoring here is going to be objective, right? There's literally no reason to think that the scoring here is going to be objective. That's so you can say it out loud, but then you're all right, well, who's the deciders? Oh, well, it's fucking these guys that are just evil with twirling their thin mustaches, and they're actually literally tying a Democratic damsel to the tracks right now while we're doing. But yeah, sure, it's about fairness. This is
you're
really
out there
about
figure
fairness.
Skating, and one of the insurrectionists comes up with a crowbar and hits you in the leg.
They also refuse to say that the people who attacked the cops at the Capitol would be excluded. So
it's amazing, dude.
They're straight up and this is coming, by the way, some of these questions, and I think this is encouraging, some of these questions are coming from Republican senators.
Yeah.
So there are Republican senators who are like, this is insane. Even Mitch McConnell, fuck Mitch McConnell. I hope he dies the most painful, lonely death a person can die.
I hope he chokes on his own goiter. That's what I hope.
Yes. I hope the last thing he sees is every sad thing that he ever felt. I hope his loneliness is reflected back to him in a series of infinite mirrors forever. But that being said, even Mitch McConnell is this is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, hold on though, because there was some strong words by another person. I want to read this. Even some of Mr. Trump's usual defenders are unhappy. Senator John Thune, Republican from South Dakota and the majority leader, meekly said that he was not a big fan. That is the most wishy-washy fucking comment ever. That's like, the Civil War was a rough patch. That was a rough patch. You know what? 9/11 was a difficult travel Tuesday is what it was.
Right. That's everybody has their ups and downs, and the buildings went down.
Yo, fucking, I'm not a big fan. You're such a meek little shit. You're such a toady. You're just fucking, you're like a little bird lapping up whatever he fucking vomits in your mouth, you pathetic piece of shit. Fuck you forever. Fuck you forever. All of his fucking toadies. Here's what I would do. You want to hear Cecil for president? Here's what Cecil does. Do you want to hear what Cecil does?
I'm pulling that fucking ballot right now.
Cecil gets in office. The first thing he does is he declares every single person who participated in January 6th a domestic terrorist. And I take every single one of them and I ship them to Guantanamo Bay. Because it's in my purview as the president to
you're allowed
declare
to do that.
people, and then I can indiscriminately and indeterminately hold them as long as I like.
Yep.
And what I will do is I will essentially hold them hostage until Congress ties my hands not to be able to give away fucking free money to insurrectionists. That's what I would do. I'd be like, guess what? And I would do it to the previous president too. I'd be like, fucking throw him in there. What are you going to do to me? You gave me immunity, motherfucker.
Right.
I'll go do it myself. I'll take that old bitch and I'll drag him to the fucking Guantanamo and I'll fucking order people to fucking waterboard him every day. Fuck you. I would make them do it until they fucking tied my hands. I would fucking make them own it until they tied my hands. Because if not, what you're going to get is you're going to get somebody who's ethical and not do this until the next unethical guy comes along.
Yeah, man, 1,000%. It's like we're past the point where we can satirize. So now we have to like bloody noses.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. We have to, because satire doesn't work and like civility doesn't work and none of that stuff is a thing anymore, right? Rationality is nothing. The rule of law is garbage. Satirization doesn't make any sense. So now it's just
satirization is indistinguishable from reality.
Exactly.
Right now. Yeah.
So like, okay, now it's blood. That's it, right? Like literally in front of the Supreme Court, with the immunity argument, they were like, well, what if they ordered a hit on the fucking political opponent using SEAL Team 6? And the Supreme Court was like, that is a dilly of a pickle.
Yeah.
Like, really? Are you like that? If we are not like, oh, wait, shit, that we don't, obviously, that's not. If we are at a place where it's like, that's an ethical conundrum, head scratcher, we're done. We're done. Yeah. Now it's time for blood. That's all. I don't even know what to say. I'm exhausted by. What is rhetoric doing for us? Like literally nothing. It's a Cecil plan for life, dude. I'm
just so exhausted. I'm so exhausted every single day, Tom. It's like every day there's a brand new fresh hell. And I just want to ask somebody who's on the other side, who's struggling to make payments, who's struggling to buy groceries, who's struggling to make, fill their car up, are you just as tired as me of this shit? Because there's only so much shit that you are going to be willing to eat too so that I have to eat it, right? Yeah. There's only going to be so much you're willing to take. You're only going to want to hold on to me so long while we both sink. Yeah, and then you're going to want to let go. How long are we all going to hold on to each other struggling while, 6 fucking billionaires get to decide? What the right doesn't understand, it's always been a war of top versus bottom. It's always been that. It's always been that since forever. But what the right doesn't understand is that they're fighting for the top, right? The left is always the bottom. The left is the bottom. We're the bottom. We don't have you don't have the money. You don't have the resources. You don't have the big businesses on your side. You don't have anything. It's always been the left versus the right, but they've just employed you to think that you're against the rest of the people when you're not. It's the top versus the bottom, but they've tricked you. They've 100% tricked you.
Yeah, man. This has always been class warfare. And like the crazy thing is that the class that is on, like we've got this insane fucking space where the Republicans have carved out both sides. They've carved out the people who are most vulnerable in many ways, And they've carved those out, and those people are like, yeah, that's my guy. And I'm like, how's that your guy? Because he's also the guy for the fucking CEOs and the billionaires and the fucking stock prices and all that stuff. The priorities are always at odds. They're always at odds. You can't be at the bottom end of the totem pole financially and also want the guys at the top to be structured in a way that they win.
Yeah.
That's not how winning works. The system is it is a system that cannot reward both ends of that spectrum. It can't. And who do you think they're going to fucking play for here? Well, look at who they did play for. Where'd all the tax cuts go?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but like they have been able to weaponize, and I think you're exactly right. Like what they did is they decided, oh, you know what? These guys are so mad and they want to hurt people. So we're just going to hurt the people they want to hurt. And that will give them enough distraction and enough sort of like of a vengeance boner that when their gas prices go up to $5, $6, $7 a gallon, they're going to be okay with it for a while. They're fine with it for a while because as long as like the fucking trans peoples or whatever are getting vilified, they're happy, right? They're sitting in the fucking like Gladiator Coliseum and like, yeah, sure, the hot dogs are $14, but they get to watch somebody get murdered. So they're happy. It's fucking crazy. It makes me laugh. I laughed my ass off filling my car the other day because it's like, I work from home. I drive a hybrid. Gas is $5 a gallon. Tom Curry's okay. You know? Like my gas tank fills, it's 8 gallons to fill it to the top.
Sure.
8 gallons.
Yeah.
And then I'll go 440 miles before I have to fill it up again. And I'm like, well, I'm okay. I know who I voted for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So, all right. Enjoy rolling coal now, stupid.
There's going to be a point. There's going to be a breaking point where their pocketbook will not be able to fund their hate anymore.
我在北京，老天保佑金山银山全不远，老天教唆别管江湖路，老天保佑金山银山全不远，老天教唆别管江湖路。
I think this is very interesting. This is from Yahoo.com. Adam Schiff proposes bill requiring data centers to pay for their own power.
I was today years old when I realized they didn't pay for their own power.
Yeah. Well, so it's just interesting because it's a little bit more complicated in the sense that like
it is. Yeah.
They do pay an electric bill, but what they don't pay for is all of the grid improvements that are required.
Right.
And the grid demand and the grid infrastructure maintenance and all the rest of that stuff. So when these data centers come to your town,
who pays for that though? It's got to get paid for, right, Tom? Obviously,
it's got to get paid for.
Sure, obviously, it's got to get paid for. So
fucking residents.
So
bro.
who would pay for that?
Yeah, residents.
Yeah,
data centers come to town and everybody's fucking prices go up.
Well, and here's a perfect example of why this is fucking bullshit, right?
Yeah.
If I bought a plot of land in the middle of fucking nowhere. Who pays for me to get electricity out there? It's not the fucking, it's not the electric company and it's not a data center. It's me. I gotta fucking pay for that. If I want to run cable out there, I gotta pay for it. Want to run fiber out there, I gotta pay for it because there's no infrastructure nearby. They can't just lean over and be like, well, let me plug it into this because it doesn't exist. They've got to create it. This is the same fucking thing, man. This is the same fucking thing. And we have to pay for it. That's infuriating.
Yeah, man. It's, you know, it's so funny too, because I try to look up when these data centers come to town, people are pushing back. People are pushing back really, really hard. It's becoming a big town hall issue just all the way across the country. And the pushback on these data centers is varied and it is vigorous. And when they show up and like they're like, well, but it's going to bring all this revenue and this tax revenue to our town. It'll bring jobs. It doesn't bring very many jobs, man. It doesn't bring very many at all. It brings a tiny handful of very temporary jobs to construct the data center. But then like a medium-sized facility for a data center, 15 to 35 workers. That's it. That's nothing. On the long term, that's fucking nothing. And all the residents around that data center are having, there's environmental impacts, there's land use impacts, there's energy cost impacts, and you got 15 fucking jobs out of it for your community. It might shit some tax revenue.
Yeah.
into the area. That's definitely true. It is very possible that it will shit some tax revenue into an area. But these things don't bring jobs, man.
Yeah.
When they talk about them, when they bring the proposal, like, oh, it's going to bring 1,000 workers. No, it's going to bring 1,000 workers to build the building. That's done in 9 months. Then 9,965 of them go home, and 35 workers now work in that building. It's fucking nothing. It's nothing. And these data centers are being subsidized very often by local governments because they want that tax revenue. And I get it. Tax revenue does a lot of important things for a community. We have to have tax revenue. But like, these companies can afford to pay freight.
Yeah.
We should just pass national laws like Adam Schiff is proposing called, we ain't paying your freight. Stop asking.
Well, and Tom, the fact is that we're looking for future taxes, but we're subsidizing them up front. Because if we're getting if I'm getting a tax break in my own city later on because there's a data center, well, I already paid the upfront costs through my electric bill. I already paid that upfront cost week to week to week. Is it going to be more than I already paid? Is it going to somehow like amortize? Is that the right word? Over time, where it's going to make it so that it finally catches up and surpasses the amount I've already paid into it and the amount of tax breaks they have already gotten that I've essentially subsidized through my own tax dollars? Like, that's bullshit. It just sucks. And these things are polluting. They're polluting the sound. So you're getting audio pollution. You wind up getting visual light pollution from these things because they're very bright. They're polluting groundwater. I don't know if you've seen this, but like, because of the way water works, the way wells work, when you start to like overwork the well and you have to like pull too much stuff out of there, normally like an aquifer or something like that will be able to filter that water. But after a certain point, if you're pulling out so much, you're going to get sediment, and people are getting unbelievable, literally unusable amounts of sediment in their water. So it's just, I saw videos of it today where AOC was holding up 2 different jars. Tom, it looked like maple syrup, like hard amber maple syrup that she was holding in her hand that she was shaking. It was that dark. It was like fucking a toilet water after you had a particularly rough day is what it looked like. I mean, that's what it looked like. It was rough. And I was like, that's what's coming out if they want to shower. They can't even wash themselves because that's what's coming out of their drains in these places where they're building these data centers.
Everybody needs protections against massive corporate overreach. These data centers are a great example. And Adam Schiff's proposal here that, hey, you got to pay your own freight. It's a step, and I think an important one, in stopping what I think is the toxic municipal competition cycle for these tax dollars.
Yes.
So right now, municipality A and municipality B, they're both looking and saying, hey, that's a lot of tax dollars. We need to rebuild our roads. We got to buy some school buses. We could really use it. So what can we give you to come here and build this data center? Let's get rid of that. Just get rid. Now there's no more competition at the municipal level because they've got to pay their freight. So we're just going to be done with that. And they're also going to have to like make sure that the environmental impact is at net zero, and they're going to have to do work to do that. So they should have massive solar panel arrays, and they should have water filtration and return and sanitation systems, and they should do all this stuff. And if they're like, well, that's expensive, we can always say, we don't want your shit anyway. We don't want it. People don't like it. Commencement speeches after commencement speech after commencement speech. These guys are going out and they're like, hey, I'm fucking Joe Google and I'm fucking here to talk to you guys. And they like, AI comes up and they fucking boo the shit out of them. Nobody wants this stuff. They're fucking us for something we don't even want in return.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. Wild why we're competing to let somebody fucking rail us unlubed.
And what they're saying to everybody who wants to listen to this sort of thing is they're saying, if you don't do it, China's going to do it. They're going to outpace us. And the reality is that it's in our best interest, if that's the case, to do it anyway. So regardless, it's not like these billionaires who are trying to make more money are going to say, well, China's going to do it faster and cheaper, so therefore I won't do it.
Right.
You're lying. You're lying to us. Of course you're going to do it. You'll just do it for less fucking money. What you want to do is do it and get more money, but you will still do it if the money is still there and you can still beat out other countries and other places on the globe to be the first to enact it. It's in your financial best interest. It's just more in your financial best interest for me to pay my electric bill to make it higher and for you to fuck up my water and for you to pollute both sound and visually in my neighborhood and to fucking make my life shitty because of it. It's in your best interest. But if I don't allow that, it's still in your best interest.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's a really good point. They were always going to do it. They're always going to do it. You're protecting their bottom line at the expense of yours.
That's all you're doing.
What the fuck? Stop. Can we just all agree to stop fucking doing that?
I agree. I think here's what I say though, Tom. I think that, you say they have 35 guards or 35 people. They're going to need to employ probably a couple hundred guards eventually if they keep building them.
Yeah, man. Dude, 1,000,000,000% yes. Have you seen the videos of there was a video that went viral, Haley showed me the other day, where somebody was working in I think it was in Canada. They were working in a factory full of toilet paper and other paper products.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
And they lit it on fire.
Yeah.
And these sort of acts of economic civil disobedience and sabotage, I think they're coming for us. I think these data centers are absolutely rife for this kind of industrial level civil unrest sabotage. And who's going to cry about it? Who among us is crying?
There's a story, and I never did it for citation needed because it's too short. There's a story of a guy who was a bully in one of these towns, like a small town, and he gets murdered in broad daylight in front of everybody, and no one would tell anyone who did it. Nobody would tell the authorities because he was a bully to everybody. He was shitty and mean and awful to everybody. And the same thing here. If they're shitty and mean and they're bullying everybody at the town hall and they're ruining your quality of life where you live and where you own your home, that's like a thing you can't just fucking up and leave if you own your own home. And you don't own your own home. The bank owns your home. But trying to fucking figure out the next place you're going to live is way harder. So it's just impossible for you to think that if somebody moves in next door, you're just going to up and fucking leave because now your home isn't worth shit because they moved this fucking giant data center in there. Eventually, there's going to be something that there's a backlash to that because you're essentially the same thing as that bully in that small town.
Yeah, man. And I listened to a podcast the other day about a bunch of citizens went to the town hall. They protested vociferously against the building of a data center. The city council was like, yeah, great story. We're still going to do it.
Yeah. And
then there was a massive grassroots effort to oust every one of the city council members, to just fire them all.
Yeah.
And that's got to be what happens. It's just okay, cool. You're going to do it. You're all fired. What's next? Who's in charge next?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the next people, if the first thing they should do is cancel the contracts. Be like, no, we're canceling.
No, we're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
Fuck you. Fuck you. We don't need this shit. Build it responsibly or you don't get to build it.
Build it responsibly, man. What the fuck? Build it responsibly, build it away from other people. What they want to do is the fucking Nestle thing, right? I want to move my shit in and I want to steal all your water. I want to steal all your municipal water and I want to steal all your infrastructure and I want to steal all this shit and I want to take it from you guys and then I want you to subsidize anything that isn't there.
He lived for Jesus, unafraid to die. We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. We'll fight for the gospel, we'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk, his courage our own. Together unbroken, we'll make heaven known. Husband, a father.
This story comes from the AP. Tennessee man jailed over Charlie Kirk post wins $835,000 settlement. This is great. This is a dude who posted on his Facebook after Charlie Kirk was killed Trump's own Truth Social commentary, which was, We just have to get over this shit.
Yeah, when students were killed, when children
After a
were
school
killed.
shooting.
Yeah, after a school shooting, Trump posted, "We just have to get over it." And he said the words. I don't know if he posted the words, but he said the words, and this person posted them. And then they got Tom, they didn't just get fucking like in trouble or like charged with something. They were in jail for 37 days.
Yeah.
37 days. And then they eventually dropped a felony charge.
Yeah, man. He lost his job. Like, this is something that we don't talk about enough. Like, when people get arrested, it's not like your employer keeps your job open for you. Oh, Bill got arrested? Well, he might be unarrested. I guess we don't have to replace him.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know? No, like, so this dude gets arrested. He gets thrown in the fucking hoosgow. He's in there for, 37 days. He was sentenced for much longer than that.
Sure.
So, it's just because like this is so wildly egregious that he got out, but he lost his job. He missed important parts of his life. He missed his, I think the birth of a grandkid. He missed his own anniversary. He lost his job. These things have massive impacts when you just throw somebody in jail. And like, I thought we had a First Amendment right. The idea that something is dangerous and a threat, how crazy is this, Cecil? It's dangerous and a threat if I say what the president said. What?
Even in this context, there's nothing dangerous about saying we just have to get over it. There's nothing that you could possibly say this, which is why they were dropped. Like why the charge against him was dropped, because nobody was going to fucking go through the trouble of sentencing this person. That was never going to happen. He wasn't going to be guilty. It was just going to be egg on your face. That's why they fucking dropped this shit. This is egregious. But tell me this.
Yeah.
You're a Trump supporter.
What?
Do you think this is exactly the same thing as the people who are getting the $1.8 billion? Do you see this person winning this suit as exactly the same thing as those people? Because I think you do. I think if you're a Trump supporter, you see this as exactly the same thing because you just can't understand nuance. You don't understand the difference between overreach of government when you did nothing wrong and overreach of government when you try to overthrow it. I think you don't understand the difference in those things.
Bro, I think it's worse. I think they see that $1.8 billion as righteous and justified, and this is a miscarriage of justice. I think that's true. I think most people.
It's funny because we think the exact opposite, but we have reasons.
Yeah. I think that him getting a settlement and not staying in jail, they would see as a miscarriage of justice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we think the opposite. We think the other thing is a miscarriage of justice.
Right. Yeah.
And this is outrageous that but we think the exact opposite about those things. But I have reasons for what I think. I have arguments. I could make them to you. Yeah.
Imagine living in a world where you're like, when the president, so if you're a Trump supporter, after the school shooting and the president's like, yeah, we just got to fucking moveon.com, fucking get over it. And you're like, yeah, I support him saying that. I support everything he says. I support him saying that. We do have to move on. Why are we trying to make political hay out of everything that happens? This is a tragedy and not a political issue. That's all the stuff they say, right? That literally it's out of their playbook. I support him saying that. And then when this guy says the same words, you have to then say, now when those words from your mouth came, they were and good. So, but when out of mine, no, so you got to double cross and then there's a tongue and you tie it. And then when you stretch, like, what do you have to do?
You just wish they'd power down.
Bro.
You just wish they'd fucking, like, when you pull the power pack out of that robot in Lost in Space, like, you wish that they would get to a point where the cognitive dissonance was so crushing that they would just fucking stop like Mitch McConnell. Like, they would just freeze and they wouldn't be able to do anything. Maybe that's what stopped Mitch McConnell, was cognitive dissonance. Maybe it was the crushing cognitive dissonance that Mitch McConnell feels. That's what stopped him.
God, I hope so.
No, it was the stroke.
It was not. It was the many strokes.
It was the viscosity of his blood that stopped him.
Like, when your blood is like a 5W30, when you've got like the winter blend that you're running, in there. I don't think that's good. I feel like that's not
each individual blood cell has its own personal clot. Yeah, that's difficult. Yeah, it's rough.
Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong, bing. 6 o'clock, I think I'm being indicted again. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Let's indict the motherfucker. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You don't mind if I go off script, do you? Most indictments in the shortest period of time. Who is it? Trump. Trump!
Cecil. Cecil, do you remember Obama phones? That wasn't a real thing. Trump phones.
Trump
Yahoo
phones.
Tech.
Trump phones.
Is the Trump phone finally here? Here are 6 things we've learned about Trump Mobile.
I like that one of the things they learned is that the flag doesn't have as many stripes as it should.
I know, it's so good.
Like, that's one of the things you learned looking at the phone.
And then they try to pretend that, like, it's got 11 stripes instead of 13, right? And they're like, well, yeah, but like
11. Why did you just put the extra one?
Cecil, it's even better than that because then they're like, yeah, but where it says Trump, that's the extra stripes. And I'm like, that's 1. You don't even know the difference between 1 and 2. Like, you guys fucking can't count to 13 reliably.
It'll be a cold, cold day before I recognize Missouri. We're rolling the fucking flag back to fucking Betsy Ross, motherfucker.
God, dude.
This is like it's like one of the fucking first gen flags before they realized. They're like, wait, no, we should do 13. That's symbolic. Let's do that.
Dude, with the
fucking amazing, dude. It's so
good.
funny.
So good.
God, it's so funny that some fucking graphic designer doesn't know how to go.
Oh, God. And that this just like nobody checked the work. They're just like, yeah,
so
glanced
good.
over at it. I don't know. I get a lot of email. I just said approved.
100% AI. I guarantee somebody fed that into AI and it shit it out.
So like, also, I think it's important to say, so far, I don't think anyone's gotten the phone. There's just been photos released of this phone. So far, and this thing's been delayed and delayed and delayed, and it's just a clone of a 2-year-old HTC phone made in China. And they've changed it. Yeah.
Hold on, though. Here's what I want to say, and this is a bold prediction.
Yeah.
But people hold me to it. If I'm wrong, you can send a message in and say, Cecil, you're wrong. I say bold prediction. I think this is a fucking home run prediction, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But they say in the article that the phone that they supposedly used was a $550 phone. This Trump phone is $499. So I bet they're refurbished.
So I think it's worse. Here's what I think. I think nobody will ever hold this phone in their hand.
You think?
I think that this phone will never actually go into the hands of users at any numbers past the dozens. I think this is just a grift. A bunch of people are going to put $100 deposit down to be in line to get this like proudly like graphically designed on AI in America phone, you know? And like, I don't think there will ever be a delivery of this phone. If there is a delivery of this phone, I think it'll take another year and that $550 phone will have already devalued to $375. Because they can just buy up old tech. Because like, how fast does old tech become less valuable?
Sure.
So like every day they don't launch is actually in their favor.
Yeah, if they're going to buy old tech, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what they were going to do anyway.
And this says
like there was no way they were going to fucking redesign a phone.
They were never
going
to build a phone in America.
Here in the United States for that kind of. There's no way they're going to do that for $499. You couldn't do that. You wouldn't be able to do that with a fucking like an old Tamagotchi nowadays. Are you kidding me? You wouldn't be able to like remember those little fucking like things that like a little watch or whatever is like you had to feed it every day, and it had like 2 buttons on it, and it was like the old football game where the thing would move across. It was like that. It was like fucking 2 dots, like you're playing with it. They wouldn't even be able to produce that for $500 today here in America.
No, man.
Are you kidding me? There's
100%.
no way there's going to be somebody who's going to be assembling a fucking phone with the wrong number of stripes on it here in the United States. It wasn't going to happen.
What cracks me up too, and this is how grifty this grift is, right? So this phone launched. It was the launch was announced in June of 2025. And the phone was supposed to arrive in August of that same year.
Yeah.
It has been almost a year since the launch. There are no phones in production in people's hands And the company is not communicating with people. So like they don't answer emails. They don't have a phone number you call. There's no real updates on anything. They just post a shit picture of a fucking rebranded gold colored HTC ye oldie phone made in China with a fucking bad design on it that was probably also designed in China. And that's it. And they're just taking pre-orders. I think they're just going to take pre-orders until the whole thing quietly folds. That's what
I wouldn't put that past them. But I think if they're forced because people are mad, I think that they're going to go the other route where they're going to just buy a Bulls refurbished versions.
Yeah, man. I think
it's so amazing. You like open the phone, you're like, wait a minute, this one has pictures in it already.
It's got somebody else's kid is in it. What the fuck is this? There's like pictures of like food and somebody's fucking kids and shit in there.
There's a picture of a flag with the wrong number of stripes in there.
What a fucking joke. I just want to say too, everybody who signs up for a fucking Trump phone deserves what they get.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I hope, here's what I hope, and because I'm done being nice, I hope that like every person who gets this Trump phone finds themselves in dire need of a fucking 911 call and it doesn't work.
Do you think that they'd be able to operate the phone anyway? I mean, these are people who would fall for the, like, got your nose and I use my thumb.
Yeah,
like that's the level of intelligence of these people. Come on,
good.
man.
Dude, there should, I want to see, because you know it's going to pop. I want to see somebody who has like the full suite, where they've got like the Trump shoes and the Trump phone and the fucking, like a Trump diploma, just like, I want someone to just go all in on the full Trump ecosystem.
They open their wallet, they have Trump coin in there.
Yes, yeah, right. They got a stupid fucking Trump coin, the Strump coins, and the Melania coins.
They got a signed Melania video DVD.
Jesus
the whole
Christ.
thing.
Do you know that I almost texted you, hey man, we should watch the Melania documentary for the show. And then I bit my own thumbs off and spat them onto the ground.
We are not going to watch that for the show, Tom. There's no way I could sit through that. Are you kidding me?
I was like, oh, that's a good. And I was like, no,
it's not. Fuck you.
No, I will never do it. There's nobody I love that much.
You just
there's
pull
nobody.
like 4 grenade pins and just lay on them.
It's so funny. In years past, we'd have already done it. You know, and now I'm just like,
I'm fatigued, man. I'm fatigued,
I'm so tired, bro. I can't watch the Smellania documentary.
Not gonna do it.
I can't do it.
Still waiting on that heifer, Julio. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
All right, it's from the AP. U.S. Representative Thomas Massie loses Kentucky GOP primary to Ed Gallrein in another victory for Trump. And I actually think this is undeniably a victory for Trump, and I think it is a massive loss for the Republican Party.
I think so, too. I also think it's a massive dump of money. They said it was so much. It's one of the most, or it could be the highest spend they've spent, or maybe it's close to the highest spend. And this is just a primary, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing I think people have to remember, and this is super important, is that Kentucky has closed primaries. And what that means is that you're not allowed to vote in it in that particular sector, right? So I can't cast a Republican vote if I'm not a registered Republican. And I know some people might say, well, that's fine. Couldn't you just register Republican before the election? You can't in Kentucky do it after the first of the year that the election occurs in. So you would have had to register Republican before the first of the year this year. So you would already have to be a Republican registered on December 31st. And I think a lot of people might not have done something like that just to be somebody who votes in a primary to try to keep Massie around, who might be in the opposite party. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I 100% do. And that open closed primary, that's a really important, I think it's a good point. It's a really important distinction. I think that Thomas Massie, who I don't like or respect, but I think that he represented a voice of like opposition, pushback, and like a real, hey, the future isn't Trump. guys.
I also
He's
think
going away.
I also think too, Tom, that while he did, I think he was pro-Trump's policies on a lot of ways. I think the ways in which he was pushing back against Trump angered Trump in a way that I think was positive for him to be around, right?
Yeah.
If it's going to be a Republican seat anyway, if you're going to have a Republican seat anyway, why not have somebody who's at least a thorn in his side rather than somebody who's just going to like never say anything? Do you know what I mean?
I do. And like your point is right, like 94%, Thomas Massie's voting record is 94% with Trump. So like, let's not pretend that he's some great outsider, right? Like,
Yeah.
but he was in large part responsible for pushing the GOP to help release the Epstein files. And that upset Trump terribly.
It did.
But that's wildly popular with the country as a whole.
Yeah.
And like what that also has started to create, this is like a handful of Congress people now who have been unseated in their in the primary, but are still in Congress until the new guys are sworn in or their general election is over, rather. They're now, what they're calling themselves is the YOLO caucus. So they're now completely disentangled from the threat of needing to be reelected. And now they're able to do and say what they want to do and say. It actually creates a greater greater political autonomy for them, and like reputational autonomy and like vocal autonomy. They're more dangerous now to the Republicans. There's a huge fraction going on in that party. That party is breaking up, man. I don't think that they're not dangerous. I think they're fantastically dangerous, but I do think that they're starting to break up.
Did you see his concession speech?
No, I didn't.
So he came out, the first thing he said, Tom, is, I called to wish my opponent well, but it took a while to get to Tel Aviv.
Oh, shit.
It was like a total burn, dude. He's like, yeah, I tried to call Ed on the phone, but the connection took a long time to get through to Tel Aviv. And I was like, holy
what a good
shit.
burn.
Fucking mic drop moment for Massie for a second. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think like this guy is not he was never going to be a somebody that the Democrats could look at and be like, I could trust him with anything, right? You wouldn't trust him. You certainly wouldn't trust him with anything at all. But if he can be, the enemy of my enemy, even in the tiniest bit, it's better than the doormat of my enemy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Better than the cudgel of my enemy.
Yeah, if we don't raise $20,000 in 1 week, we'll have to move.
Go to a new school and make new friends. But Jan, you don't have any friends.
Kash Patel is at it again from the AP. Emails show FBI Director Kash Patel's Hawaii trip included a VIP snorkel at the Pearl Harbor Memorial. So you can't just, I didn't know this till I read this article. Evidently, you can't just snorkel and scuba your way around the sacred grave site of dead U.S. sailors. Like, that's a little gauche, it turns out.
That's stupid.
But you can do it if you're like famous enough as a politician or government official.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, no, that's gauche. If fucking Kash Patel and his hairy fucking back wants to fucking get in the water on his little like 2-day government sponsored Hawaiian layover vacation, somehow he can do it.
I say it's even odds that before he went in, somebody put a funnel on the end of that snorkel and poured a beer in there. I say it's even odds. It's even odds that he did.
Better than even odds.
He shotgunned a beer through that snorkel before he dove in the water. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's even. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But I wouldn't be sad to put $50 on black right now.
Like when you read this, it's like, yeah, like we don't allow it obviously for civilians, but we'll let certain VIP political figures do it as a way for them to like have like an educational experience. And I thought, what horse shit? What are you talking about? This is an educational experience.
100%, dude. I'm
There's
right there
no
with
education. You're not.
Yeah.
What does the fucking FBI need to know about a boat that sunk in 1945? well, we probably shouldn't let people sink boats. Yeah, man, we got that on lock. That's almost 100 years old. What does the fucking FBI learn from this? Oh, I learned a real reverence. Learn reverence another way, man. Like, what the
Read
fuck? This is bullshit.
Fuck you.
Yeah, there's no learning experience from this that, like, because you're a senior official in the government, you get to fucking put your bathing suit on for. Like, what the guy? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck you, man. Also, 100% I bet that he fucking Brady Bunched this shit. He's got a sacred rock from one of the fucking volcanoes. He's going to have a string of bad luck, and he's going to have to go return it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. It's either that, or I hope that he goes on a cave diving tour across the world and eventually winds up like that guy who's halfway stuck in the water.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they keep on putting him on more and more dangerous snorkel tours.
God.
So eventually he's like in a fucking submarine somewhere that's just slowly running out of air as it's falling, and it'll eventually collapse like the fucking Titan. That's what I'm hoping.
This is made out of nanotubes, man. Hop in. It'll be safe, I promise. It's powered by a PS5 controller. It's cool.
When his snorkel fills up with water and you press on his stomach, his eyes spin around. He's like one of those old games. Remember the old games where you press the button and the rings would fall in the certain spot?
God, yes.
You could do that with his eyes if he gets the water in there right and you press on his tum-tum. He looks like that. Yeah.
He looks like one of those stress chickens that when you press on it, the eyes bulge out.
If you read this article, you see what we did was we gave a podcaster a free plane and a job he doesn't have any kind of accountability for. So that's what we did. We gave him a very important job where he is completely held unaccountable. Every 30 days or so, he gets yelled at by Congress. That's the worst thing that happens to him. He's not fired. He doesn't lose a paycheck. He doesn't have to now he has to do things differently. None of those things happen. What happened is we yell at him for a few minutes and then he gets to take a private jet all around the world and travel all these places and stay on your dime and fly on your dime. And he gets to visit. What he did was he flew to New Zealand or whatever and decided to have a 2-day layover in Hawaii on our dime and then duck paddle around and the dog paddle around in the middle of this grave site for people who died in the Second World War. That's what he decided to do on your money.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
From CNN, takeaways from the DNC autopsy. I have very mixed feelings about this article. So, Cecil, I think maybe you should start on this one.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. They were pushing for this sort of forensic report of the sort of after action, what happened with the last election to be released. A lot of people were pushing for this. It turns out that they, in some ways, were right. This thing was rife with errors. There was a bunch of it was not only just bad editing errors, but they left things in that they might not have left in otherwise. They were sort of forced their hand to release this to the public because a lot of people were clamoring, saying they were avoiding taking accountability for losing the last election. So a lot of people were saying you're trying to skirt this responsibility and you should release it. And that people were pushing back and saying, there's a lot of errors in this thing. We want to clean it up before we release it. And we were forced to release it. They say quite a few things in here that are that I think are very damning to the Democratic Party. But there's a couple of lines that I think are fucking home runs. They say that Harris and her campaign took too much for granted, and I think that's true. Here's a quote. At times, it seems like the Democrats are trying to win arguments while Republicans are focused on winning elections. Democrats operate in an ecosystem defined by reason, even in cycles when the electorate is defined by rage. And I think that is a perfect encapsulation, of the the downfall of the Democratic Party. This last week on the No Rogan Experience, the podcast I do with Marsh, we covered a debate. Now, we normally don't do these. We did one debate in the past where there was two guys who were arguing, but this one actually included Joe Rogan. We went back and listened to his argument about the moon landing with Phil Plait. So he did a 2-part series on someone else's show, Penn Jillette, and they went and fought about the moon landing, whether the moon landing happened. And
Jesus
Joe
Christ.
did a great job of being a rhetorician. He never had any good points. All he was trying to do was make you feel that something was off. So his whole job was not to say anything. He was just going to knock things over and make you feel like something was off. I'm going to make you feel about it. And if I make you feel about it, then Phil has a way harder job because he's got to pick all the pieces up and he's got to diffuse your feeling. And I think like that's a way more difficult job than what Rogan had to do. All Rogan had to do is make you feel about it, because all he spent literally the second half of this entire argument arguing about whether or not Werner von Braun was a Nazi and whether he was an out Nazi and how horrible it was that he was a Nazi. And none of that stuff matters, right? Like that's all just nothing. Of course he was a Nazi. We pilfered all their scientists to do rocket stuff. Yeah, he was a known Nazi. It wasn't a secret. We knew all that stuff, but it didn't matter to Joe. If he could implant in your head that they were willing to hire a Nazi, then they were willing to lie to you. And that was the connection. That's all he had to do. He didn't have to do anything else. And so the same thing is in effect here. If they can just make you angry about something, they don't have, you now think like you have to come in and sort of dispute the thing that you're angry about. But that's not going to do anything for them. They're still going to be angry about it and they're just not going to believe you. And I think you're on your back foot if you're not the one using emotion to try to convince people why they should be voting, because they're 100% right. If you look at the way in which reality works, the Democrats and the left are almost always on the correct side of that. They're just better at inflaming people than our side is. And that's just true. And they've been better at it for a very long time. That's what I got out of this.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Like my first take on this was all this hullabaloo for this. You know, like this autopsy to me felt like, who hasn't been saying this since the election? Like this seems like the kind of analysis you and I have done, other smart people have done. Like this doesn't seem like it broke any new ground. And like there seems to be some like controversy around, oh, will they, won't they on the release of it? But like you said, it's not an edited final draft. It was written by a part-time volunteer. So it's also important to note, this is just what some guy named Paul wrote down.
Yep.
This is not a studious analysis. This is like a hot take of Paul's. And Paul is a part-time volunteer for the Democratic Party, a former part-time volunteer for the Democratic Party. So like it's a hot take document. This is not to be confused, I think, with a like demographic or data analysis document or like what I would think of. Because I was excited. I was like, ooh, the fucking autopsy. Let's fucking dig in. Like, what are we going to learn?
Autopsy makes it seem like it's really important, right?
Yeah, it feels forensic, right? It feels like it's going to have a little science. Where's the juice? And instead, it's like, well, what did Paul the volunteer write down? You know, when he got some basic numbers wrong and some other thing. And I'm not saying his takes are bad takes. I just think that this is now what passes for a scandal. Yeah. And I was just sort of like, there's not a lot here. Like, yeah, did Harris's campaign make mistakes? Sure. It was 90 some days long. Made a lot of mistakes, but I'm like, it was 90 some days long.
Biden made a bunch of mistakes too by not helping her, right?
Yeah, and right. So I think it was a very strange election cycle to try to like extrapolate from as if it were normed, you know, in meaningful ways. I think we should learn lessons from it. I do agree that we are not focusing enough on providing a small handful of very tangible, financially based solutions to people that they care about. That's all the Democratic Party should focus on from now until forever, until they get their shit together. What's 3 things that put dollars in pockets or save dollars from flowing out of pockets that Democrats will do for you. That's it. Everything else, set it to that. We'll work on it when we work on it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it when we get to it. What's your take on this thing? My take on this thing is that before we can do that, we got to do this.
I think
focus.
I think you're right. And I think one of the things I would say is I would agree with you that if you're going to do this kind of analysis, you should probably do it better than what you suggest. Like a fucking part-time person should do more work than this. You should have somebody who thinks about it, who plans it. You should also do it sooner and act on it sooner, right? We shouldn't be getting this on the midterms. We should have been getting this December of 2024. You should have got this. That's when it should have came out. You know, like you should fucking, maybe you couldn't do it that soon. Maybe it takes 6 months, right? Maybe it takes 6 months to do all the forensic and real forensic analysis.
With data scientists and stuff.
Sure. Even if it takes till June of 2025, that's when you should have got it. Because you got to act on that stuff. Because if you're going to take the time to write down all the shit you need to improve, you better pin it on your fucking wall. You better put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. Because if you just take the time to be like, oh man, you know, this year I'm going to eat right and I'm going to work out every day and I'm going to do it. And then you forget about it. What fucking use was all that stuff? That wasn't of any use. You've got to put it to use. I 100% agree. I think that's absolutely true. The other thing I totally get too is this is just a hot take. So at a certain point, a person in here is saying, well, we need to get away from identity politics. We're not in identity politics, man. What are you fucking talking about? Every single time identity politics gets brought up, it's by the fucking right. They want to drag it in every single time because they've tricked us into moving the Overton windows so far over that it's not about identity politics. Now it's about existence politics, right? We've stopped it being about identity, and now we're saying we don't want those people around. That's a totally different argument. That's not the same fucking thing, man. Stop saying we need to get away from identity politics. Identity politics isn't now. That was a long time ago. That's not a thing that happens now. Now they're saying they don't want people to be trans. That's not identity. That's existence. Stop fucking framing it like that as if it's somehow this sort of fickle thing that we're just like, I want to just stay away from all these little tiny issues. Fuck you. Those people have shifted the conversation so far right, we can't even have a normal conversation about it anymore.
Yeah, we can't. And one solution here, I want to say, I think was good. It says Democrats need to spend earlier.
Yeah.
I hear so much all the time from the right. I only hear what the Democrats are all about the last leg of an election cycle. The Democrats need to be constantly hammering into the media what they're about, what they're driving for, what they're going to do for me. That's what they need to do. It needs to be constant. I need to have the same level of, God, I can't fucking pick up a newspaper, read a headline without some Democrat trying to give me childcare. You know, like some goddamn, I can't fucking swing a cat in this room without some goddamn Democrat trying to help me pay for community college.
It's a great point, man.
Right? Why is this stuff, which is great stuff that everybody likes and it polls really well, why does it only come up the last fucking 15 minutes of the exam? Stop it. Stop it. You've got the best ideas in the room. Fucking say them all the time. Say them everywhere. Say them constantly. Put up a fucking billboard. Fly a fucking Goodyear blimp. Whatever you got to do. It should be everywhere. The right's doing it. They've been doing it forever. The right never lets up on the message. They never let up on that message. They're the fucking pace car, and we're chasing it all the time. Stop it. Spend your money. We do this stupid shit where we finish out an election cycle with enormous amounts in the war chest. Spend every dollar. Spend it all. What am I doing fundraising if you're not spending the money to get the fucking message out? Makes me crazy.
All right, so last week we released a little late. I wound up going on vacation because I had a vacation planned, and I wound up missing giving Ian the stuff I thought I uploaded. I didn't upload it. I left it, and I had to. It was like a whole thing. I left the entire country. In fact, I was in Quebec City, and so I didn't have an opportunity to upload the thing. So it wound up late. So we wound up releasing late this last week because of it. We also, because of the way things shook out for the past 2 months, Tom had the medical thing he was working on, so he was off, and we had to shift production back, and we were doing a lot of work to sort of change a bunch of stuff around. And I went on vacation too, and we didn't have time to pre-record stuff. So there's one fewer release this month. We will not be doing a patron show. We'll be doing a long form show, which will release this upcoming Thursday, but we are not going to be able to fit a patron show in the amount of time for May. So we want to apologize to patrons. We can't put that out this month, but we'll just do an extra funnier show early next month. We'll just wind up finding more and better stories because we won't have pilfered that hole too deeply, which we normally do in the month. So it'll be nice we'll put something out at the beginning of next month, but the way the timing of our recording schedule worked out, it just we weren't going to be able to put out that release this month. So we want to apologize that we can't put out a patron show this month, but we still have the same number of shows we normally put out every month is being put out this month. We just happen to have to skip one of them this month because of the way the production schedule lays out. So next Thursday will be a long form show. The long form show is going to be on an article called "The Men Who Want Women to Be Quiet." We'll post that on Thursday, and then we'll have a full show on Monday, but we're going to leave you like we always do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter